Okay, guys. Here's my topic. Because I was wondering about it. And this is a pretty common thing, but it's also a pretty big contradiction. So when I was growing up, you didn't take candy from strangers. You know, stranger danger.
Yeah.
There was always somebody in a white van.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they always picked white vans. Probably actually now because that's just a fleet vehicle. It's pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
You know, so don't talk to strangers, yada, yada, yada. But then you get to Christmas time. And not only is it okay to talk to the stranger, but you go up to this whiskey smelling stranger and you sit on his lap and let him give you a mint and you tell him your deepest desires. And it just really blows my mind at how we all turned out and made it out alive, because here you are. Don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers. Oh, that guy looks like a homeless bum. Oh, he smells like whiskey. Oh, don't take candy. And then, except now, why don't you just climb on up there, sit on that strange little fella's lap, let him put his arm around you, whisper in his ear what you want for Christmas, and take the candy out of his pocket and smile for the camera. It's just jacked up when you really think about it. We don't go to the Santas too often anymore, and I didn't know. Maybe it's just in my head. I knew it was messed up, but it really creeps me out. Like, I bet there's a lot of pederasses out there dressing up as old Santa Claus. You know, because the real one, he's out there, and I'd love to take my kids to the real one, but you don't know if it's the real one. Could be some, weirdo pederass.
Well, Dave, to cue in our listeners, Dave is talking about mall Santas and not Uncle Steve's, who sits at family reunions over in the corner.
But right? Like, you wouldn't just tell your kid to go sit on some stranger's lap and say, hey, free kid lap sittings right here.
Well,
send your youngsters over.
Janelle took the kids today to take their picture with Santa. I don't think we've missed a picture with Santa.
Isn't that weird?
Since
Where?
the mall. Because then it's a good reminder that malls are dying too. But yeah. We participate in that. I will say, from a legal compliance manner that has negotiated some deals with some Santa Clauses, there are some due diligence.
Checks?
Yes.
Okay, well, that makes
there's some due diligence that
They
goes
gotta
in.
go through Safe Sport before they come in.
There's some due diligence that's done. We do some checks. We obviously don't allow Santa to be alone with anybody, which I think is probably a big factor.
There's some people that might, there's some weirdos out there. Might not want to be alone.
No, well, I would hope that if you're standing there and you start to see Santa fondle your child, that you're going to beat the piss out of him.
Knock your block off.
Yeah.
I think what was really had me wondering is just like, and I never thought about it as a kid. Like, I knew, it's just Santa time. It's time to go. And it was always awkward. But like, how do kids, are they able to differentiate? Like, okay. Because I also remember seeing multiple Santas in a year. You know, you knew it wasn't always necessarily the real Santa. It was somebody helping.
They're helpers.
Santa. Yeah, it's just Santa's helper just taking the message back. But, you know, you might catch one at the mall. Then there might be one at the grocery store down there. The day-old bread store.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So you'd see multiple Santa's helpers. But it was always okay to go sit on their lap. But I'd sure been told, and I tell my kids, hey, you just stay away from weirdos.
Well, dressing up and being a Santa's helper does not make you a weirdo, Dave.
Most of the time, whenever you're doing some lap sitting, I think it's got a lot to do with the situational awareness and then like the locale of the lap sitting.
And the organization in which you're doing this through.
Yeah. Like if you're at the mall and there's like this big Santa's castle and a line and a photographer and everything like that, I feel like it's a pretty controlled environment.
So let's talk about Jasper. We've taken the kids to Jasper. And there's one particular place, pretty popular.
Yeah.
You just take your kids up there to a yard barn. And you walk in the yard barn, dimly lit with extension cord lights. And you sit on Santa's lap in the yard barn. But I feel like any other time you wouldn't want to have your kid just strolling up to a yard barn on the side of the road.
Now, if it was me sitting in the yard barn,
I'm just saying, is there enough differentiation?
yeah, the mother was wearing a red suit. Yes, there's a huge differentiation.
I don't know. You got a colorblind kid in the jumpsuit orange from the Dubois County Corrections. May look real close to red.
Yeah, but he's got a hat on and a giant red sack sitting next to him, or a correctional orange sack sitting next to him with a gargantuous white beard and a bowl like his cheeks are red like a bowl full of cherries. Yes.
Okay,
If you go to the mall, and it's a controlled environment.
I'll buy that.
Don't you dare ruin.
I've already ruined it in my head.
Yeah, I know. Don't you dare ruin it for these networks of Santas.
Yeah.
Like it's a union. Like it's a thing.
Have you ever seen Bad Santa?
Yes, I have. You're not gonna shit right for a week. Yes, I have seen these absolute debaucheries. These awful false manifestations of the portrayal of Santa. I've seen them all. But these guys are usually so a friend of Justine's grandma, I don't know why I said that, granny, up in Lagodi has played Santa, was Santa's helper for years. He drove a Lincoln, damn nice Lincoln. And he would always come to the Toy Christmas and bring the gifts. Like that was his deal. Like he'd pull up in his big old Lincoln.
By the way, it's amazing how many people do that.
Yeah.
Like have a Santa actually deliver.
Yes, sir.
Do that.
Yep. There was another local husband and wife actually from Huntingburg that were a Mr. and Mrs. Claus duo. Yeah. And they fit the bill. Because, this guy was a short, portly feller. Yep. His wife, matching size. They would, several guest appearances, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
There's, David, I don't think that you have to worry about. Now,
is this kind of akin to Dave and his parachute on an airplane tape?
No. I think it's just his fear of pedophilia, which I get. It's very logical. But I just don't think that...
Which, by the way, as the one sitting at the table that has represented individuals that have partaken in that kind of activity, there's a certain vibe that's given off in these situations, Dave, and it's very easy to pick up. I don't think, it's like putting lipstick on a pig. You're still going to know it's a pig. Like, if you're in some seedy back lot with a half-jack Santa wearing red sweatpants and not fancy red pants, and he's wearing black Velcro shoes and not boots, and his hat is stapled together, and it's just one of those deals. I think you're gonna know.
Or if he only weighs 140 pounds,
and he's got a little bit of a twitch in his left eye, could be a right eye. You just got to watch. You never know.
Unbelievable.
I think you'll be okay.
All right. Well.
I think we ought to take pictures with Santa. We need to find a Santa to go take pictures with.
We're running out of time.
I think we need to force this guy to sit on Santa's lap. That's what I think.
I don't know if you're big enough.
Well, according to TikTok, you're 6'9".
You better pack your lunch, Bubba.
That's some bitch the size of a small subcompact. No.
Now, mall Santas, now it says mall Santas.
Weird.
Wild.
Oh, wild.
But back in the day,
that was huge.
Dave, I can see your validity to a certain extent because there's a lot of record keeping that didn't go on back in the day. But in the more modern age, if you're a business that does this kind of thing and you're not doing at least a little bit of due diligence.
Could you imagine how that kind of negative PR could absolutely cripple an organization?
Well, so we've taken the kids. It's been a long time since we've taken a kid to see one of Santa's helpers.
Oh, I don't know if I shouldn't say
I know we
Never
have,
have.
but it's been a long time. But every time, okay, so there's a work Christmas party, and I feel pretty good about that one because that's probably somebody's like husband, or something.
That's
it's
been
a-
drafted by the big fella to
Yeah,
help out.
yeah. So that one I feel okay for, but like anytime that it was just like a random place, like, hey, come see Santa here. And I didn't know somebody. that
Hey,
knew to
Santa
help
Claus is going to be here from 3 to 4:30. Come on up and have your photo for $9.95.
And like as soon as my kid gets a little bit like, I'm like, nope, we're not doing this. Like, no, I'm not going to make you do that because you don't need to be like accustomed to thinking.
Did you ever have the experience with your own children when they seen Santa for the first time? They were absolutely mortified
Yeah,
and
man.
like screamed and
And
scared
that's
to
when you
death.
grab them up, tell them it's okay, and you don't have to sit with a strange person, and you just.
I think
Back up
Janelle and
good.
I were in the picture one year. Zoe was a little spooked, and I think Janelle might have sat on Santa's lap.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
I might have to go back and pull that.
If I was that Santa, sit down, honey. I'll make it feel better for you.
Thanks, buddy.
But yeah, I definitely was more of the hey, okay, don't make the kid sit down like in a like trust your instinct. Think he's a weirdo. Let's go.
Yeah, but kids are skittish about everything.
Good, let him be that way.
Yeah.
That's like a fight or flight thing.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't old enough to swing on somebody.
Especially no creepy ass mall Santa.
I don't know. I think Wild Bill might.
Yeah, well, Bill, he's a different breed.
That boy's ready for some wild turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was something I was saying about the other day, how weird it was.
I don't think.
Or I think that it's weird.
I think if I were to get in the car right now and drive to Eastland Mall and get some photos taken with Santa, I don't think I would bat an eye. I think I would just go do it and get it over with. Now, if my kids didn't want to do it, I'm not going to force them. Not going to drag them up there or nothing, but I would at least give them a chance to make their own decision, I guess I would say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember seeing a picture too. I mean, I think just balling with the Easter bunny.
Oh,
Not balling like I had a bunch of money. Like balling like.
scared to death,
yeah.
crying.
Dave, you were 13.
Yeah. Well,
know.
cameras weren't invented until.
Some of them pictures of the way them Easter bunnies looked like back in the day.
Pretty creepy.
God damn.
I never seen a bunny that big. They're like 9 foot tall with them ears. Get out of
We got
here.
a lot of eggs to carry.
Get out of here.
A lot of eggs to
Anyway,
carry.
that's what I had.
Out on mall Santas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, I think it's situational.
Mm-hmm.
Really is.
Now, yard barn Santa, I'm probably all in on.
Because there's that little bit of risk that
Yeah.
enhances.
I mean,
the experience.
now that I'm a member of the community, I know it's fine. But like the first time I was down here for that, we were living up in Brazil, and we came down. She's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go do this because this is where Santa comes."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, no." But I mean, I guess it's probably fine now because I know the community. But
Uh-huh.
as an outsider, when you're wheeling your kid up
well,
to a meth shack to sit on a
That's-
stranger's lap,
that's strong.
It was like in one courthouse square, Jasper, Indiana, right in the thick of it. It ain't
Here's
just
the other thing.
regular
You
old
think-
run of the mill meth shack. If it was on a gravel road, if it was in Casey or I's front yard, out there on
I've been to some places.
1025.
It don't matter if you're at the courthouse or not. It's still kind of a sketchy place to be.
But here's the question for you: do you think your lovely bride, the apple of your eye, the mother of your 3 children, would do anything to put one of her little cubs at risk at any point in their lives?
Absolutely not. But
So
I
then
don't
your
know.
reaction to this, you have to trust the local girl that has grown up in that community for how many ever years, that there's probably a high probability she knew who that was in that suit, who
Could have
Santa's
been.
helper was that day.
Just telling you, first time in the this neck of the woods, a lot to take in there.
Dave, I just think you get a little sketch. Not sketchy, skittish. You get skittish on some
Skittish.
things.
Yeah, I do.
You're a little bit of a
That's probably-
skittish fella.
Yeah, I'm a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Anyway,
Mall Santas.
Weird.
I think you ought to have to be a mall Santa. You'd make a great mall
Gotta
Santa.
earn your stripes.
I don't like kids that much.